What's up, guys? Good evening. Welcome, welcome. You know what time it is, guys? It is Friday evening. It is 7 p.m. That can only mean one thing. Time for our 1 hour live stream. What's up, Wolf? Mark? Max? How is everyone doing? Yeah. How you guys like that? That little free sub deal right there. There's not a whole lot of content yet in the private section, but you guys are certainly free to go watch whatever's there, and there will be random updates to that. Let's see. So, joining us on the shelf this week, we have the winner of third place from last week's model contest, USS North Carolina. We have the Queen Mary joining us, which was also in the contest. And at the bottom, Mighty Mo. And if you look real good, you will see USS New Orleans right there. It's been a while since she was with us, so there she is. So check this out, guys. Brian, what's up? How are you doing this week? How's everyone's week been? Hope you guys had a good week. Mine is actually it went by pretty fast, actually. Which of course is always a good thing. Yeah, check this out, guys. So I don't know if you watched the video this week, the model building or the model contest video, but here's my little third place medallion that I won for the USS North Carolina in that contest. So I'm going to start off with a couple of announcements for you guys. So as of right now, I will be going out of town next week for a little road trip. I'll be recording some content for the channel. As of right now, Mark says congratulations. Well, thank you. Looks like everyone's had a good week as well. Glad to hear it. So yeah, doing a little road trip next weekend. I will be doing recording content for the channel. There will not be a live stream next Friday evening as of right now. If my plans fall through for some reason, we will have the live stream. But as of right now, we will not have it. But there is a silver lining to this. You can expect some on-location streams. One or more of them while I'm on that trip. What is a location stream? Well, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, maybe a month, I forget exactly when, but I did I went to the USS Kidd and basically live streamed while I was there. And I'm referring to that as an on-location stream. So that will be happening. Pretty much it's a certainty. If the trip happens, I will be doing a couple of those. I thought about doing a game night next Thursday too. I haven't decided on that yet. Let me know what you guys think about that. Been a while since we did a game night, so might look into doing that. Excuse me. So yeah, I will be gone on Friday and Saturday. I'll be back home on Sunday, and yeah, you can expect some on location streams. Definitely Saturday, maybe even Friday as well. So be on the lookout for that. Oh, Karen says hello, hello. Um, so, having said all that, I'm going to want to give you guys a quick little update on the Francis Scott Key Bridge. I don't know if you guys saw this, but apparently the FBI is opening a criminal investigation into that. The news broke on this Monday, and I've got an article up here in front of me. It's from a local media in Baltimore, and I'm gonna just read part of it so to catch you guys up to speed. It says hours before leaving port, the massive container ship that caused the deadly collapse of a Baltimore bridge experienced apparent electrical problems. A person with knowledge of the situation told the AP on Monday. The same day, FBI agents boarded the vessel amid a criminal investigation into the circumstances leading up to the catastrophe. So the ship was having electrical problems while it was in dock, and yet they took off anyway. So yeah, that's probably not going to go too well. It says while the ship was docked in Baltimore, alarms went off on some of its refrigerated containers, indicating an inconsistent power supply, according to the person with knowledge of the situation who was not authorized to publicly comment and spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity. And more little blah, 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 says where the ship was going, what happened. So, yeah, Mark, that's not good. Absolutely not good. I feel sorry for well, I don't know if that's going to come down to the captain, and I'm going to go ahead and start our footage here. So here we go. So yeah, I would imagine the captain, as we all know, because we're all ship nerds here, is essentially God on a ship. So first and foremost, the buck is going to stop with whoever the captain is. Was the captain aware of this? I would imagine it was. I mean, based on what we just read in the article. So, Wolf, any updates about the Big U? Still nothing yet, Wolf. I continue to be of the mindset that no news is good news. So as soon as I hear something, you know it's going to be in the Discord. We will talk about it on the next available live stream. Nice camouflage. Yes, I don't know if this was actually on the North Carolina at any point, but I love that camouflage on the ship. I think it looks fantastic. Karen, if that's the case, they should have never left port. Absolutely. I mean, you knew there were issues with the ship. The ship should have been checked out before they ever even considered leaving port. And again, that's going to be on the captain right there. He makes the ultimate call as to when you're going to leave. So, speaking of which, on a side note, guys, I downloaded this app earlier this week, and you can track like ships in real time. So I've been following the Queen Mary 2 all week long, and right now she is off the coast of South Africa. So I forget the name of it. Let me look real quick. Let's see. Boat Watch, just called Boat Watch. You download it, it's free, and you can type in any ship that you want. And I forget what type of tracking device it has to have, but there is some type of device it needs. And if you, as long as the ship has that, you can track the ship anywhere in the world. Well, that's cool, Max. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I've been following the Queen Mary 2 the last few days just to see where she's at and what she's up to. I brought my water with me this time, so I don't have to keep getting up. And speaking of which, Wolf asked about the Big U. No updates there. I did see something on Facebook about the kid, but I've been kind of reluctant to read it because it's not from the kid's Facebook page, so I don't know if it's a trustworthy source. Essentially, though, what the person said, and I'm sure there's actually a lot of truth to that. Oh, look at that Citadel. Uh, there's a lot of truth to this that we already know is that the water levels in the Mississippi have to reach a certain height in order for the kid to be able to float off or clear the cradle that it's sitting on. And from if assuming what this person said was correct, um, the water's never going to get high enough for the kid to float off of the cradle or be high enough to where it could float and clear the cradle. So I don't know what they have in store for that, but I will definitely be keeping keeping up with that as well. And the same thing with the kid as with the Big U. If I as soon as I hear something, I will let you guys know. It will be in Discord. We will talk about it on the next available live stream. Um, oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. I mentioned that we will probably not have a live stream next Friday. We will be back in 2 weeks, which will be May the 3rd. And that will be our Lusitania anniversary stream. So Lusitania sunk on May 7th, 1915. So that's a weekday the following week. So I'm going to use May 3rd as the anniversary stream for Lusitania. So bring your Lusitania knowledge to that stream, and yeah, that's what we'll be doing for that week. Looks like the kid right there in front of us. Yep, that is the kid. Karen, can't wait till it gets to Homa. Yeah, so again, if anyone, I'm sure we all know this by now. The kid is going to Homa, Louisiana, for dry dock repairs, and it's going to be there for about a year or so. So, how did everyone enjoy the Titanic anniversary stream? Did you guys like that? Mark, I found my Lusitania book. So I have a Lusitania book as well, and I've already completed the book. I highly recommend this book. It was a great read. It's called Dead Wake, The Last Crossing of the Lusitania. And very good read. Lots of really good information on it. So if you're looking for a good book on the Lusitania to read, and I'm sure it's available digital as well, make sure you pick that up. I actually found that last year. Went to we took a little road trip to the Mississippi coast and actually found that at a Books a Million in a mall, and it was either Gulfport or Biloxi. I forget which one. Let's see. Mark says Tom's stream was awesome. Max, I liked it, but I fell asleep. You fell asleep on my live stream, Max, or someone else's? Wolf, I didn't tune into that stream, sadly. I was busy at the time talking to my crush and watching the Fallout TV show. Well, Wolf, you were here for the Titanic anniversary. That was last Friday. I remember you chatting, unless you were multitasking. Mark, my book is An Epic Tragedy of Lusitania. I have not heard of that book, Mark. Oh, you fell. Max fell asleep on Tom. So, what I ended up doing Sunday, if you guys know, I came on. I did a little 30-minute stream or so. Well, it was probably about an hour, where I played that game, Titanic: Fall of a Legend, and that evening, let's see, um, Mark Tom's was long, THG was longer. I thought there was one on Saturday or Sunday. There was a few of them on Sunday, Wolf. That's what we're gonna touch on that real briefly. So THG had their live stream. Tom Linsky also had a live stream. Um, how I would rate the two. I don't know why this video is getting so choppy. Anyway, so the difference between the two was THG had a much better animation. They did a brand new animation for this year, and it is available to watch, and it's fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed their animation. But when it came to which one, I was planning to watch THG's stream live originally, but while watching, they were really more talking about their content than what they were about, Titanic, the whole story of Titanic, from the ship to the people, so forth and so on. Tom had, Mark says Tom had Don Lynch, he had Ken Marshall. So in the end, I stayed up. Well, I stayed up for as long as I could, and I watched most of Tom's stream until it was time for me to go to bed because work the next day. I can't stay up till 2:45, 3 o'clock in the morning watching that. I would have liked to, but it wasn't possible. Sorry, guys. Um, so I did go back and watch the full syncing animation for THG, and like I said, it was absolutely awesome. Max Ken Marshall is awesome, absolutely. I would love to have one of his paintings. I do not have any, but that would be nice to have one of his paintings on the wall. But yeah, I may go back and watch Tom's. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, be ready on May the 3rd. That will be Lusitania. I don't know why this video is so choppy. I mean, I've hardly got anything running on my computer. I mean, it's pretty much just that aside from OBS. Anyway, hang on, guys. This is kind of annoying me. Let me see where we're at. We're about 10 minutes in. Let me close one other thing out. Let me try restarting that and see if it gets any better. So, yeah, I don't know why it's so choppy. I mean, like I said, I've got pretty much nothing else running other than OBS. I just have to face facts that I need a new computer. That's what the reality of it is. So, did everyone watch Steve's interview with Don Lynch? I watched that, I think, yesterday. That was pretty cool, right? He actually got to meet Don Lynch in person and talk with him. For those who may not know, Don Lynch is one of the more better known Titanic historians. He was actually the historian that James Cameron used for the '97 movie. So you don't get much more legit than that. Um, so yeah, just curious if anybody watched Steve's stream. If not, go and check it out. Max, yes, I watched it. Very cool. Absolutely. So, sorry, I got to keep clearing my throat. I know that's annoying. Mark K. Steve interview was very cool. Absolutely. So this looks like it's doing a little bit better now that I rebooted it. We'll see how it goes. So, I keep saying that a lot tonight for some reason. Wolf Lord, I didn't watch anything on Titanic. I am not surprised, Wolf. Well, you watched my stream, and I appreciate that. So, I, I, I thank you for that. I'm glad you came hang out with us at least. Um, what about well here since I mentioned Lusitania, we're going to be talking about Lusitania in a few weeks. How does everybody feel about Lusitania? What are your thoughts on Lusitania? Um, I am one who's always felt, and I know I asked this question a while back. You know, I know a lot of people have like Titanic fatigue. Would be a right a good way of putting it. Does Lusitania get the coverage or the historical notoriety that she should? Um, in my opinion, we really do not talk about Lusitania enough. Um, this was not a peacetime thing. She was attacked, sunk in 18 minutes. I mean, we all know the story because we're all ship nerds, we're all history nerds here, but let's see, Mark. My Samsung Galaxy S9 died today. It got really hot again, froze and turned off. Now it won't turn on. Yikes. Well, I hope you had a backup phone, Mark. Wolf, I think she's underrated. Mark, yes, very underrated. I agree completely. Um, the crazy thing is, let me know what you guys think on this. Let's see what Max says. I think she was a beautiful ship, and her story is very interesting. Very, just equally as tragic as Titanic, and in some ways more so, because again, this was not a peacetime disaster. This ship was attacked, and it was intentionally attacked. Um, I think that is just my opinion that if the Lusitania sinking was the catalyst to bring the United States into the war, I think that we would talk a whole lot more about Lusitania than we actually do. Of course, it wasn't for another 2 years after the Lusitania was attacked that the United States entered the war. It's almost like the Empress of Ireland in a way, if you think about it, because Empress of Ireland is almost an afterthought too, even though she had just as much loss of life as Lusitania. Granted, Titanic had more than both of them, but not a whole lot more. Well, I don't know. I could be wrong. Empress of Ireland might have had more. It's over 1,000. I remember that much. I'd have to go back and watch my greatest video on it to get the exact count. But it's almost like the Empress of Ireland is an afterthought because I think she sunk like a week or two before World War One broke out, so hardly anyone knows of her. But let's see, Mark, I'm using a brand new 2-year old Moto A Pure. My Moto G stylus is still going strong. Cool. Wolf. Titanic happens to overshadow a lot of disasters in history. Oh, no doubt. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Mark, Lusitania has more history than Titanic. Yeah, of course she does. You know, Titanic was in service for 5 days. Lusitania was in service for what, 7, 8 years before she was attacked. So yeah, there's definitely more history behind Lusitania than there would be Titanic. Um, and again, I keep going back to the fact that she was attacked. If Lusitania was not attacked, she wouldn't have sunk. And I mean, and really, you could say the same thing about Britannic, because Britannic, while she struck a mine, in my eyes, that would be considered an attack because those mines were laid with the intention of sinking ships indiscriminately. It didn't matter if it was a warship, a hospital ship. The mines were laid there to attack and sink a ship. And, that's why Britannic suffered the same fate as Lusitania. So, yeah, like Wolf says, Titanic happens to overshadow a lot of disasters in history. As far as ship disasters, absolutely. I mean, she overshadows Lusitania, Empress of Ireland, Britannic. I would argue that one, at least in the United States, I don't know about the rest of the world, one that she does not overshadow would be the USS Arizona, and which kind of I use to prove my point about Lusitania. The attack on Pearl Harbor brought United States into World War II. That was the catalyst. That's all it took. If Lusitania was the reason the United States would have been brought into World War One, in my opinion, Lusitania would be remembered and talked about a whole lot more than what she actually is. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on that? It's funny because with World War II, I always bookend World War II for the United States with two ships. It started with the attack on the Arizona. It ended on the decks of the Mighty Mo, right there. And of course, this ship we're looking at right now played a huge part in World War II, BB-55. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm wearing my USS Alabama shirt, BB-60. So what are some other ships, guys, besides the ones we talk? Is there any ships that are not as famous, be it a military vessel, a civilian ship, that you feel are not talked about enough? I mean, we mentioned Lusitania, we mentioned the Empress of Ireland. Are there any others you guys are fond of that are not quite as famous? Didn't have to be one that sunk or anything like that. Just name a few. Name some ships that come to mind that you feel should get a little more attention than what they actually get. I'll say this, I love the fact that Olympics been getting a lot of attention in recent years, but it's more to do with that idiotic conspiracy theory and not because of what she was known for. Mark says the Republic, which you're going to have to educate me on the Republic, Mark. I am not familiar with that ship, and that's the point of the discussion. Less known ships that do not get as much attention as they deserve. Max, I would say Empress of Britain too. She's very underrated. Wolf, interesting enough, I think I would say USS Indiana is pretty underrated, given she was the very first U.S. battleship to have BB. That's a great one. Mark, the Big Four. And he's talking, of course, about the big four of the White Star Line. Oh, look who is back in the footage this week. The ship Beautiful herself. Now, and that's the thing. In our world, shipping nerds, we know full well about Aquitania. We know a whole lot about Aquitania. But the general public, they've probably never even heard of Aquitania, which is sad. Wolf, another underrated warship, or I'd say ships, would be HMS Repulse and HMS Prince of Wales. Yeah, and yeah, Aquitania, Max, Mark, Aquitania. Of course, we haven't seen her in a bit, so we had to look at her for a little bit here. The ship Beautiful herself. The true answer to the Olympic class right here. Aquitania. But Wolf, give us some fun facts about Repulse and Prince of Wales, if you would. And Mark, let's see. You mentioned Republic. What can you tell us about the Republic? Because I will admit to not knowing a whole lot about that ship. I've heard the name, but I really don't know a whole lot about Republic. I'm going to take a swig of water here, guys. Just pardon me for a second. Ah, Max, she's looking very beautiful tonight. You know what else was looking beautiful? In the Discord, Mark posted a picture of DD 661, the USS Kidd. Carr, welcome to the stream, Carr. How are you doing, my friend? How was your week? How's your week been? Let's see. Carr, we're talking about ships that don't quite get the recognition that they should get. Here, Aquitania here is a perfect example of that. Wolf is telling us about some British ships. Now would be a great time to share a little information about the Arkansas, if you like. I know she's your favorite ship. So if you want to drop a few fun facts into the comments about the Arkansas, go ahead. Wolf, this right here is just for you, my friend. And Wolf says Repulse and Prince of Wales were both sunk by Japanese bombers shortly after Pearl Harbor, I believe. Prince of Wales was also with HMS Hood when she was sunk. Oof. Hey, what happened to my screen here? Ah, there we go. Mark, you have to look it up, but she was built in 1901 and sank with millions in gold. I wonder if it's all been looted yet. Well, basically, the two ships tell us the reason why battleships need to have air cover. Yep. And coincidentally, in my view, the Yamato tells us the reason why battleships, unfortunately, became obsolete. Max Republic sank in 1909 when the SS Florida rammed her. It's crazy how many ship collisions we've had in history. There's a picture, guys, and if I keep forgetting to post it, but I want to post it in the Discord. I'm not showing it here because it's not a real photo, and some conspiracy goons are gonna freak out if they see it and start stuff. But I'll share it in the Discord. Somebody basically did a Photoshop version of what the Titanic would have looked like if she rammed the iceberg head on. Very interesting. If I think about it, I will post it in the Discord tonight after the live stream. Yeah, so we're looking at the Iron Duke right here, HMS Iron Duke, one of Wolf's favorite ships, by the way. And admittedly, I don't know much about this ship either, other than it's one of Wolf's favorites. What about the Big Four? Which one of you guys mentioned the Big Four? It was either Max or it was Mark. Mark, you got any fun facts to share with us about any of the Big Four? Oh, and here's another one that we don't think about a whole lot. The Mauritania 2. You hardly ever hear about that ship. I mean, of course we hear about the original Mauritania, and deservedly so. But what about Mauritania 2? You pretty much never hear anything about her. Let's see. Will says, what do you guys think are overrated warships? Personally, I feel like the entire World War II German surface fleet are overrated, or at least the capital ships are. The only ships from the only German ships I really know of would be Bismarck and Tirpitz, and uh, I mean they eventually got wrecked. So you know, and of course Yamatos were supposed to be the biggest and the baddest that the world has ever seen, and maybe they were, but they're not around anymore either. And I know our four Iowa class ships are still around. Carr says USS was the older sister of the Wyoming class. It was laid down and commissioned before the Wyoming, which is funny, considering it's the Wyoming class, but the Arkansas was laid down before the Wyoming. It's kind of like with the Iowas, how Wisconsin is BB 64, but she was I want to say she was launched before Missouri was finished, and we know Missouri is BB 63, and that's the reason why Missouri is actually the last battleship the United States ever built. Um, let's see. Carr says USS Arkansas was at the D-Day landings along with Texas. Yes. Is there photos of that online? Were there ever any photos of those two together? I never thought to look for that. Mark, if Titanic hit it head on, the bow would fold back three compartments. Yeah, that I've always been of that impression too, Mark. I am firmly in the camp that if she hit it head on, she would not have sunk. Max, Coronia 1 and 2 are somewhat forgotten. Yeah. Um, I'll be honest with you. I pretty much don't know any of those ships. I mean, I've heard of them, but I do not know pretty much anything about them other than obviously they're canard ships because of, the way their names end with the I and the A. Mark, I like the Adriatic of the big four. She was the largest, but never the biggest ship in the world. I really need to do more research into the big four. I mean, obviously, I know of them, but I've never really read much into them. I really need to do that. Well, reason I say the German capital ships are because they are constantly treated like some beasts of war, when in reality, Bismarck was pretty terrible. Same with Tirpitz. I think and of course, this is my opinion, not fact. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the hood, the Bismarck sunk the hood. I think that's pretty much where it all comes from. Just my opinion. I mean, other than that instance, I can't think of any other major events involving the Bismarck off the top of my head. Um, other As far as like major events involving the ship go, other than the fact that it sunk. You know, I could be wrong. If I am, someone correct me on that. So yeah, I asked if there were any pictures of Arkansas and Texas together. Carr says I think so. Would love to see those. If anybody can find any pictures of Arkansas and Texas together and put them in the ships channel in Discord, I would love to see that. Nevada was also at D-Day, I believe. Wolf says. Max Coronia 2 was nicknamed the Green Goddess. Wasn't like the whole exterior of that ship painted like this, almost like a highlighter green type color, Max? Am I thinking of the correct ship? Wolf, I think you're right. Yeah. Wolf, I would love photos of those two as well. Yeah. I want to say I've seen pictures of Arkansas and Texas together. I could be mistaken, but I thought for sure that I did. And of course, again, we're looking at Iron Duke here, one of Wolf's favorite ships. We've got one more ship to look at after This one, Max. Yes, you're correct. In reference to the Green Goddess, Mark. Yes, lime green hull. I've seen that, and that I got to remember that is the ship that is the Green Goddess because I've heard the nickname as well. So I got to remember that. I need to brush up more on other ships that I'm not as familiar with. That's going to be one of my future goals moving forward. Um, because I mean, obviously, I know my stuff with the Iowa class, Titanic. I know a good bit about the more famous ships. So that's where I'm at. I wonder if Steve's gonna pop in here tonight. I got something I've been needing to talk to Steve about. Anyone heard from Steve lately? I know he was on. We chatted on Discord very briefly a few days ago, but I've not heard from him since. So while we're looking at the Iron Duke here, real quick, Wolf, Iron Duke, was she World War One era or World War Two era? She kind of looks like a World War One era ship to me because of the big tripod mast. Mark, Teutonic is underrated. I am not familiar with that one either. Another one, again, I've heard the name, do not really know much about her. Wolf, I would like to say USS Pennsylvania is incredibly underrated. Pennsylvania was the ship that was in dry dock during the attack on Pearl Harbor, so I think she missed. She wasn't on Battleship Rose, so she was not as badly damaged as some of the other ones, obviously Arizona and Oklahoma. Marcus, he was on early today, I think. Yeah, I need to, as soon as he gets back on, as soon as he gets home, I need to talk to him about something. Car, the Scharnhorst, German ship. Again, we mentioned German ships earlier. The Scharnhorst and her sister had problems that in somewhat rough seas, the front guns would flood and make it to where they couldn't shoot. Wow. Seriously? I did not know that. Man, the British ships, guys, whether it's the ocean liners, the warships, I mean, the British just had shipbuilding down. They just knew what they were doing. Well, served during World War One as a active duty warship and flagship, and in World War Two was a training ship. And we're talking about the Duke here. Max and her sister Majestic, Teutonic and Majestic. Mark, I have to do more research on Teutonic. Yeah, I would definitely need to do more of the same. Well, what about the third Britannic? Because as we know, HMHS Britannic was not the last ship in the White Star Line to be given the name Britannic. I finished my water there. Mark, yes, Majestic is very underrated. So my White Star guys in here, I mentioned the third Britannic, MV Britannic, yes. She was one of the last White Star Line ships, but she wasn't the last. Which ship, or am I wrong? I might be remembering it wrong, but I'm thinking of another ship. Which ship was the final ship to be built by the White Star Line before the White Star Cunard merger? I could be wrong, but I don't think it's Britannic. I think it's something else. I will wait and see what you guys say in the chat. Got it. I was right. Mark, Georgic was the last. Yes. And that's another one I don't know a lot about, but I knew for sure she was the last White Star Line ship. Max, MV Georgic was her sister. Okay, I did not know that they were sister ships. So that's a new one for me. That's something I just learned. Now, Wolf, did Iron Duke here have any sisters that you know of? Oh, and speaking of Britannic, you guys will see I've got my little 3D print right there on the top of the box of the Queen Mary. As we know, last week, Milan won the little 6-inch 3D print of Britannic that I had. I did put that in the mail on Monday. So I was true to my word. He will be receiving his prize. Mark, they look pretty much the same, that being Georgic and MV Britannic. Okay. Wolf Iron Duke had three sisters. Okay. What was the lead ship? What was the name of the class? Was Iron Duke the lead of the class? Oh, look at that ship rolling over. Carr, the Edmund Fitzgerald is not very well known, is more well known than most Great Lake freighters. I would venture to say that the Edmund Fitzgerald is actually pretty well known in the U.S. I mean, of course, not to the level that, Titanic, the Arizona, or even Mighty Mo, but I would say that the Edmund Fitzgerald is a pretty well known ship. Of course, there's that song, too, that brilliant song by Gordon Lightfoot, who unfortunately he passed away last year, but that song is great. Wolf happened to only remember one of the names, though HMS Emperor of India. Okay. Iron Duke was the lead ship of the class, so it is the Iron Duke class. Cool. Yeah, has anyone ever like watched documentaries or what is your knowledge level of the Edmund Fitzgerald since it's been brought up? We don't really talk about it a whole lot because it's not a warship or an ocean liner, but hey, the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down to the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Everyone knows that song. Mark, the Edmund Fitzgerald is very well known on the Great Lakes. Yeah, well, and I know. Here's our final ship of the evening, guys. It is BB 63 herself, Mighty Mo. Um, so basically, yeah, Mark says the Edmund Fitzgerald is very well known on the Great Lakes. Oh, absolutely, and they do have a an anniversary deal every year. I believe it's in Wisconsin. I could be wrong. It's one of the Great Lakes states. Wolf, I know a little. Mark, I know very little also. Max, yes, that song is great. Have you ever heard of the Carl D. Bradley song? No, Max, I have not. Um, but yeah, it really the easiest way to learn about the Edmund Fitzgerald guys is go listen to that song. I mean, he Lightfoot is Gordon Lightfoot is he's telling you the story of what happened in the song. That is the point of the song. And yeah, I've got it on my playlist. I always anytime that comes on, like if I'm doing something and I've just got music in the background, or especially when I'm driving. I sit there and I listen to the song. I'm paying attention to it. It's not just background noise. See, someone's posting in Discord. Cool deal. But yeah, there's documentaries on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Actually, I've been trying to find a good model of the Edmund Fitzgerald, but I've actually been looking on eBay for a long time. I've been looking for the Edmund Fitzgerald. I've been looking for the Queen Elizabeth, Lusitania is number one on the list. I need a model of Lucy in the worst way. I'm going to probably end up buying like a 3D print one just so I can have something of Lucy. I'd love to have an Aquitania. Um, as far as warships, I've got Texas, which I've not started building yet. I need to get on that. I want one of the Alabama, and I want to get a better model of Mo than what I've got right here. And I want, actually, I want the whole Iowa class. I want all four of them, and I want to paint New Jersey in her Black Dragon scheme when I get the New Jersey. So yeah, that's where I'm at with like all of my model stuff right now. I'm pretty committed to those things. Speaking of which, well, we got about 10 minutes left, but I've been meaning to ask Wolf. Wolf, have you gotten any further in any of your models? I think you started working on one a couple of weeks ago. Did you not? Wolf also, there's a pretty cool 1350 model of Alabama by Trumper. That's the one I've been eyeing, Wolf. That is the one I've been eyeing. I've been kind of taking a break from my model building since I finished Olympic, just to kind of, I just kind of need to get away from it for a minute. I've done a few things to what will be Britannic, but not much. Um, I should probably just let Milan build it for me. Keep what little sanity that I've got. Car USS Arkansas was at the nuclear bomb testing at Bikini Atoll and was only 100 yards away from the underwater nuke. Yeah, I knew Arkansas was part of that. I don't remember how she fared. If she was only 100 yards away from the epicenter or the blast, then I imagine she probably didn't do too well. I think most of those ships didn't. So, Wolf, I haven't had the time to work on my models thanks to schoolwork and talking with my friends. Also, it's getting hot now, so it makes model building way too difficult and uncomfortable. Wolf, I know all about um, the heat. I live in southeast Louisiana. We have the heat and the humidity to match. Carr says she sunk. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. That's the only thing. I don't remember what ships sunk, what ships made it and were eventually scrapped. So, admittedly, I did not know the Arkansas's fate. And while we're looking at this, I noticed I saw an advertisement while we're looking at Mo right here that Warships was supposed to be putting Big Whiskey in this game. Of course, you'll probably have to pay $100 for it. I really haven't been messing with this game much lately, just because I'm sick of their. I'm sick of having to just the endless grind in order to get the ships you want, or it's either that or you got to pay over $50 for the ships you want. I just think it's just too much of a money grab for me. You know, one last thing about as far as the games go, did anybody else download and try the final update to the Honor and Glory 401 demo? They have said that this last update, that's it. No more demos, no more updates to demos. What we have, that's it. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And have you tried the demo? I will say when I was messing with it last week during the anniversary stream, you could definitely tell they optimized it a lot better. It ran a whole lot smoother. Load times didn't feel quite as long as they normally do. So definitely, you could definitely see improvement on it. Well, some ships I know of: Prince Eugen, Nagato, Arkansas, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Independence, Saratoga, New York. Look how many of those battleships, guys. Oh, sorry. 4 battleships. Mark, I wish I could. My computer is an antique. Referring to the Honor and Glory demo. Well, if I haven't played much of Warships recently, either been too busy grinding out a game called Genshin Impact so I can play with my crush. Well, I mean, who can argue with that, right? Oh, sorry, guys. I'm sorry you got to keep hearing that. Ugh. At least it's happening towards the end of the stream here. So we got about 5 minutes left anyway. Yeah, I've actually been playing a lot of an old Star Wars game lately. Like I said, I'm kind of taking a break from Warships right now. It's just kind of been getting on my nerves. But of course, we'll still continue to look at footage like this each week because it's relevant to what we discuss. Car, if you ever need help in War Thunder, I can help. Well, I appreciate that, Car. If I do decide to pick it up at some point and try and play it more seriously, I will. My first impressions of it were, though, I was a bit kind of put off by that one as well, just because it reminds me a lot of Warships in the same thing that I was just complaining about, how you just have to constantly grind and grind and grind to get the ships you want, or you got to pay some ridiculous DLC price to get the ships you want. I just want to be able to have the ships I want and play. I don't want to have to, if you're not a streamer of either one of these games, it's like you never ever progress in these games, and that's just been kind of getting a bit annoying for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with both of those games right now. Well, I was happy that War Thunder starts you off with a Fletcher at least, right? And we do have some Fletcher footage also from Milan. It's been a while since we've seen it. Probably put that back in sometime next month. Because I was thinking about that the other day. And I've got the footage from Car as well from War Thunder that we can look at. So again, the whole point of all that is just to keep variety, so we're not looking just at warships over and over again, and not only the ships that I have in warships over and over again. So that's the whole point of that. Well, guys, we are at the 1 hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start wrapping this up. I will go over the content schedule real quick. Our random video shorts are weekly, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. Our video of the week is comes out every Friday morning at 7 a.m. And our weekly 1 hour live stream is every Friday evening at 7 p.m. All times U.S. Central Standard. Car, whenever you're in a squad with other players in War Thunder, you get 10% of their earnings. Oh, that's good. That's obviously something you won't see in Warships, so that's cool. Again, guys, reminder, as of right now, there will not be a live stream next Friday night, but there will be some on location streams, definitely on Saturday. I don't know what time yet, and possibly on Friday as well. 2 weeks from tonight, May 3rd, will be the anniversary of the Lusitania. That's what the stream will be about. And the week after that, we will come back again to our regular format. So, guys, thanks again for watching. Enjoy the new private subscription that you guys have. Wolf, bye. Max, bye. Thanks everyone for hanging out as always. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the Discord for those of you that are in there. And until the next time, of course, you guys know the drill. As always, drive safely.